Mr. Excitement on stage, a life filled with heartbreak off it. Jackie Wilson, the soul singer whose electric performances ignited crowds, faced a darkness most fans never knew. 3 children gone too soon, 2 wives lost. What shadows lurked behind the bright lights? His dynamic stage presence earned him legions of fans, but his story goes beyond the music. Was he a man forever chasing happiness, or was there something more to the tragedies that plagued him? Join us as we delve into the life and music of Jackie Wilson, separating the legend from the truth. Hit subscribe and get ready for a story unlike any other. Jackie Wilson was an American soul singer who had a net worth of $10,000 at the time of his death. Technically, he was in debt to the IRS at the time of his death. The amount of the debt is not known. Jackie was best known for helping with the transition from rhythm and blues to soul music. Early years. Jackie Wilson, born Jack Leroy Wilson, Jr. on June 9, 1934, in Highland Park, Michigan, had a challenging upbringing. The third and only surviving child of Jack Leroy Wilson, Sr. and Eliza May Wilson, Jackie's life was marked by family struggles and a rough neighborhood. His mother, Eliza May, hailed from a musical family in Mississippi. While Jackie visited them often, his own home life in suburban Detroit was far from idyllic. His father, Jack Sr., battled alcoholism and was frequently absent, leaving a void in young Jackie's life. By the time Jackie turned 9, his parents separated. Despite the difficulties, music offered a bright spot. Jackie, heavily influenced by his mother's church choir singing, began singing himself. His early teens saw him join the Ever Ready Gospel Singers, a quartet that found success in local churches. Interestingly, while public performances brought joy, true religious belief wasn't a driving force for Jackie. Sadly, the money earned by the quartet often fueled bad habits. Alcohol, a problem in his father's life, crept into Jackie's own world at a young age. Despite these early challenges, Jackie's musical talent and stage presence were undeniable, setting the stage for a future that would be both spectacular and tumultuous. By 15, he dropped out of high school and faced juvenile detention twice. Boxing briefly offered an outlet, with Jackie competing in the Detroit amateur circuit at 16. However, his mother put a stop to his boxing career, and life took another unexpected turn when he was forced to marry Frida Hood at 17 after getting her pregnant. Suddenly, fatherhood became his new responsibility. Despite the hardships, music remained a constant. While his time with the Ever Ready Gospel Singers had ended, Jackie's passion for performing hadn't waned. He honed his vocal skills and stage presence, preparing for the opportunities that would soon come his way. Career. Jackie's life wasn't always smooth sailing, but music was his guiding light. He started out building his chops by singing solo at a local club called Lee's Sensation. This was his training ground, where he honed his voice and learned how to command a stage. He then joined a group called the Falcons, which was like a mini dream team of future stars. One of the members was even Levi Stubbs, who would later become the lead singer of the Four Tops. Unfortunately, the group didn't last, but the friendships Jackie made during this time would prove valuable down the road. His talent caught the eye of Johnny Otis, a big name in scouting. Otis brought Jackie into a group called the Thrillers, which went through a few name changes. While none of these bands landed a record deal, this period wasn't a complete wash. Through his involvement with these groups, Jackie met manager Al Green, not the famous R&B singer. Al managed other successful artists, and under his wing, Jackie met Laverne Baker, another singer on Al's roster. These connections started opening doors for Jackie in the music industry. Jackie wasn't quite Jackie Wilson yet. He actually started out recording under a different name, his nickname, Sonny Wilson. It wasn't until 1953 that he landed a spot with a group called the Dominoes. Here's the interesting twist. He was replacing another incredibly popular singer named Clyde McPhatter, who left the group to form his own. Apparently, Jackie's audition wasn't the smoothest. He wasn't exactly known for his charm. But one thing was clear. He could sing. Luckily, the group's leader, Billy Ward, saw past Jackie's rough edges and recognized his talent. Billy even gave him a stage name that fit the group's image. That's how Jackie Wilson was born. Before leaving, the original singer, Clyde, actually played a big role in shaping Jackie's career. Clyde mentored him, helping him develop his unique style and captivating stage presence. Jackie also soaked up influences from other legendary musicians like Roy Brown, the Mills Brothers, and even Al Jolson. These early experiences would lay the foundation for Jackie Wilson's future success. Even though Jackie had become the lead singer, the Dominoes just weren't the same without Clyde McPhatter. They still performed their old hits for a while, riding on past successes. But it wasn't until 1956 that they managed another chart topper with a cover of Saint Therese of the Roses. This gave the Dominoes a brief resurgence, but overall the group's momentum had slowed. By 1957, Jackie was eager to spread his wings. He felt ready to step out as a solo artist and embarked on his own musical journey. He landed some gigs in Detroit, a city with a thriving music scene, and started building a name for himself. His talent eventually caught the attention of record labels, and he ultimately signed a deal with Brunswick Records, a subsidiary of Decca Records. This marked the beginning of Jackie Wilson's solo career, a period that would see him become a true R&B legend, rise to fame. Just as Jackie was about to launch his solo career with Brunswick Records, his manager Al Green sadly passed away. Luckily, Green's business partner Nat Tarnopol stepped in to manage Jackie and even became president of Brunswick later on. Jackie's first solo single was Reet Petite, which became a moderate R&B hit at the time, but went on to be a huge international smash years later. This song was actually co-written by a future music industry legend, Berry Gordy Jr., the founder of Motown Records. Berry teamed up with a couple of other songwriters to create Reet Petite, and even used a pseudonym for the credits. This wasn't a one-time thing, though. Berry and his crew went on to write and produce 6 more songs for Jackie, including Lonely Teardrops. This powerful ballad became Jackie's signature song in 1958, reaching the top 10 on the pop charts and absolutely dominating the R&B charts. Lonely Teardrops showcased Jackie's incredible vocal range, spanning multiple octaves, and truly launched him into R&B superstardom. The song sold over 1 million copies and even earned him a gold record. His performances were full of energy, amazing dance moves, powerful singing, and a sharp sense of style. No wonder they called him Mr. Excitement. This electrifying stage presence inspired tons of future stars, including James Brown, Michael Jackson, and even Elvis Presley. Elvis was such a big fan that he actually sought out Jackie and they became good friends. There's even a famous photo of them together where Elvis signed it saying they were friends for life. Some people even called Jackie the Black Elvis, but it turns out the admiration went both ways. Jackie said he learned a lot from Presley's stage moves, and Elvis himself said something interesting. They say I stole black music, but really, most black performers copied their moves from me, except Jackie Wilson. It seems these two music giants influenced each other in a cool way. Jackie Wilson's concerts were legendary for a reason. The man didn't hold back. His electrifying performances were guaranteed to get the crowd hyped. He'd drop to his knees, do splits and spins, even bust out a backflip or two. Picture this: fancy footwork, one-legged slides across the stage, throwing his tie and jacket to the cheering fans, pure, unadulterated energy. He even incorporated some boxing moves, shuffling back and forth to keep the audience on their toes. But Jackie wasn't just about the moves. He had a playful side, too. A favorite part of his act involved inviting some of the ladies in the audience, even the ones he thought weren't the most conventionally attractive, to join him on stage for a kiss. His logic? If I get everyone to think they have a shot, they'll keep coming back for more. And come back they did. While Jackie commanded the stage, he wasn't a stranger to television. He was a regular on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show and American Bandstand, bringing his electrifying performances to living rooms across America. He even had a cameo in the movie Go Johnny Go. Although it was his only film appearance, Jackie Wilson's legacy as a live performer continues to inspire artists to this day. Jackie Wilson's career took an interesting turn in 1958. Disagreements over royalties led to a split with his manager Nat Tarnopol and songwriting team Berry Gordy and Rockwell Billy Davis. Gordy, ever the entrepreneur, used this as a springboard. He borrowed money from his family and leveraged his songwriting earnings from Wilson to launch his own record company, Motown Records, a name that would become synonymous with soul music. Tarnopol, however, had a different vision for Jackie. Believing Jackie could appeal to a wider audience, he steered him towards operatic ballads and easy listening material, a genre quite different from his R&B and rock and roll roots. For these recordings, Jackie collaborated with arranger Dick Jacobs of Decca Records. Despite the change in direction, Jackie's star continued to rise. He entered the 1960s with a string of hits, including Doggin' Around, the million-selling ballad Night, and the top 10 hit Baby Workout, a song he co-wrote with former group member Alonzo Tucker. This songwriting partnership produced other gems like No Pity in the Naked City and I'm So Lonely. Jackie's success continued with Alone at Last and My Empty Arms, both reaching the top 10 charts. While the musical path might have shifted, Jackie Wilson's talent and popularity remained undeniable. 1961 wasn't all bad news for Jackie. He actually released an album to honor a singer he admired a lot, Al Jolson. Jackie even wrote the liner notes himself, calling Jolson the greatest entertainer ever. The album was a passion project for Jackie, but it didn't sell very well. Things slowed down a bit for Jackie between 1964 and 1966. His manager and record company kept putting out albums and singles, but they just weren't hits. Even though the sales weren't there, Jackie kept making interesting music. He even recorded an album with a famous jazz band leader and did some cool duets with other singers. Despite the challenges he faced, Jackie Wilson wasn't ready to be counted out. In 1966, he embarked on a musical comeback, collaborating with the talented Chicago producer Carl Davis. Together, they crafted two hit singles that rekindled the magic: Whispers, Gettin' Louder, and Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher and Higher. The latter tune, reaching number 6 on the pop charts in 1967, became one of Jackie's most enduring hits. Another song, I Get the Sweetest Feeling, showcased Jackie's enduring vocal prowess. While it didn't initially make a huge splash in the U.S. charts, the song became a surprise international success. It reached the top 10 in the UK twice, even inspiring numerous cover versions by other artists. A crucial factor in Jackie's musical rebirth was Carl Davis's insistence on a change. He pushed for Jackie to record with Detroit musicians instead of the ones he'd used previously in New York. These Detroit musicians, the legendary Funk Brothers, who were also the backbone of Motown Records, brought their immense talent and respect for Jackie to the recording sessions. This collaboration breathed new life into Jackie's music, propelling him back onto the charts and reminding audiences of his undeniable talent. By the mid-70s, things were different for Jackie. His record company wasn't what it used to be, and his songs weren't topping the pop charts anymore, but he still had a loyal R&B following and kept putting out music. His last hit, You Got Me Walkin', came out in 1972 and featured a group called the Chai Lights. Tragedy. In 1970, tragedy struck the Wilson family when Jackie Wilson's son, Jackie Jr., died at the age of 16. He was shot on the porch of a neighbor's house near their home in Detroit after an argument with some local young men escalated fatally. The loss of his son had a profound impact on Jackie Wilson, plunging him into deep sorrow and severe depression. Overwhelmed by grief, he withdrew from public life, becoming reclusive and turning to alcohol and drugs to cope with his pain. It took him 2 years to find the strength to return to the music scene. Even then, he struggled to regain his previous level of success, with his songs mainly finding recognition on the R&B charts. This reflected the challenging journey he was navigating both professionally and personally. Sandra Wilson Abrams's death. In 1977, while Jackie Wilson was staying at the Medford Lease Retirement Center, his daughter Sandra Wilson Abrams tragically died of a heart attack at the age of 24. Due to his incapacitated state, it's unclear if Jackie could fully understand and grieve her death. This loss added to the heavy burden he already carried, and it's uncertain how much he could process it. Jacqueline Wilson's death. The Wilson family faced many hardships over a decade, and sadly, more were to come. 4 years after Jackie's death, his daughter Jacqueline was fatally shot at age 37 in 1988. She was shot in the back outside a store in Highland Park, Michigan, an area known for drug activity. Reports indicated her death was related to a drug dispute, adding to the deep grief and tragedy the Wilson family had already endured. Was he gay? Jackie Wilson, the dynamic R&B singer with electrifying stage presence, has sparked questions about his sexuality for decades. There's no concrete evidence to definitively label him gay, but the lack of clarity during a less open era fuels ongoing speculation. Wilson's public life centered around his music and charismatic performances. He married twice, had children, and was known to shower female fans with affection. However, some point to his flamboyant stage persona, which challenged traditional masculinity, as a hint of a deeper truth. The music industry of the time wasn't particularly welcoming to openly gay performers. Artists often navigated a tightrope between authenticity and marketability. Wilson's act thrived on audience connection, and his on-stage energy could be interpreted in various ways. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect is the power of performance itself. Great performers can embody a multitude of emotions and characters. Their sexuality, on or off stage, can be a facet of their artistry, not a defining characteristic. Ultimately, the mystery surrounding Jackie Wilson's sexuality adds another layer to his legacy. It reflects the social constraints of the era and the captivating enigma he created as a performer. Who are his wife? While his career soared, his marital life remained a constant source of struggle. Frida Hood. Jackie Wilson's first marriage to Frida Hood began in 1950 when he was just 16. This teenage union, perhaps rushed due to their young age, faced challenges from the start. Jackie's burgeoning music career, coupled with his reported desire for an exciting lifestyle, may have conflicted with Frida's vision of a stable home life. Allegations of infidelity on Jackie's part further strained the relationship. By 1965, the marriage had become untenable, and Frida filed for divorce. While the official separation occurred that year, some reports suggest that Jackie still considered Frida his wife, even after the split, hinting at the complex emotional undercurrents that swirled throughout their time together. Harleen Harris Wilson. Jackie Wilson's second wife, Harleen Harris, was a successful model before their marriage. Gracing the covers of Ebony, Jet, and Hue magazines, she also turned heads romantically, dating celebrities like Sam Cooke, Ronald Isley, and Sammy Davis Jr. before capturing Jackie's heart. Harleen was a pillar of support for her husband. In an interview shortly before her passing, she expressed her immense pride in Jackie receiving a Walk of Fame star. She spoke fondly of him, highlighting his infectious energy, generosity, and passion for music and life. She championed his legacy, ensuring the world knew the dedication behind his iconic nickname, Mr. Excitement. Born in White Plains, New York, Harleen was a dedicated fan, serving as president of the Billy Ward and the Dominoes fan club. When news broke that a young unknown singer named Jackie Wilson would replace Clyde McPhatter, Harleen, like many fans, was apprehensive. But then she saw him perform at the Apollo. Jackie's talent was undeniable, his voice unlike anything she'd ever heard. Their paths eventually crossed again years later when Jackie, having spotted Harleen on the cover of Ebony magazine, recognized her from the fan club. A romance blossomed, and they married in 1967, shortly before Jackie released his iconic hit, Your Love Keeps Lifting Me, Higher and Higher. Their lives took a dramatic turn in 1975 when Jackie suffered a massive heart attack while performing. He slipped into a coma and never fully recovered. Harleen became his devoted caretaker, navigating a complex web of legal issues that arose before and after his passing in 1984. Jackie, a talented singer but not a businessman, left behind a complicated estate. Harleen, appointed as his court-appointed guardian, fiercely protected his legacy, facing numerous challenges from those seeking a piece of his estate. In her later years, Harleen Wilson loved spending her summers on Martha's Vineyard. She was a big tennis fan and enjoyed breeding doves. A family spokesperson said she died of natural causes. Harleen is survived by her son, John Wilson, her grandson, Robert Wilson, and her great-grandchildren, Zanya, Liana, Robert Jr., and Valentino. She also leaves behind two sisters, Cheryl and Brenda. Sadly, she passed away less than 2 weeks before she was supposed to represent her late husband, who died in 1984, at his Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony on September 4th. Personal life. Jackie Wilson embraced Judaism later in his life. It's not clear why he chose this faith, but it was a personal decision he made. Those who knew Jackie Wilson described him as having a fiery temper and a wild side. Some reports say he could get mad quickly and enjoyed having a lot of girlfriends. It's important to remember these are just glimpses into his personal life, though, and we should focus on celebrating his music. Jackie Wilson's life took a terrible turn in 1961. He got shot bad in his own apartment in New York City. The whole story is a bit messy, but it seems a jealous girlfriend named Juanita Jones might have been the one who pulled the trigger. To keep Jackie's image clean, his managers supposedly cooked up a fake story. They said a crazy fan did it, not someone close to him. This story made Jackie look like a brave guy who stopped a suicide, but the truth was way more complicated. The shooting messed him up bad. He lost a kidney and had a bullet stuck near his spine that caused him trouble for years. On top of the physical pain, the whole thing became a big secret, which must have been a burden for Jackie. No charges were ever filed against the woman who shot him, which adds to the whole mess. Legal problems. Jackie got into trouble with the law a few times in his career. In 1960, things got crazy at a concert in New Orleans, and fans rushed the stage. A police officer tried to hold them back, and things got rough. Jackie ended up getting arrested for hitting the officer. A few years later, in 1964, Jackie was at a concert in St. Louis when he found out there was a warrant for his arrest over a missed performance from way back in 1959. He wasn't about to go to jail and took a leap out of a second-floor window. Luckily, he wasn't seriously hurt, but the police still caught him and he had to spend a night in jail. In 1967, Jackie and his drummer got arrested again in South Carolina. This time, they were accused of something inappropriate with a couple of women in their hotel room. The details are a bit fuzzy, but it sounds like they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sad death. On September 29, 1975, Jackie Wilson's life took a devastating turn. Performing at Dick Clark's Good Old Rock and Roll Revue in New Jersey, Jackie was mid-song, belting out Lonely Teardrops, when a massive heart attack struck him down. As he sang the line, "My heart is crying," he collapsed on stage. Initially, the audience mistook it for part of the act, erupting in applause. Thankfully, Dick Clark recognized the seriousness of the situation and stopped the music. Backstage, Cornell Gunter of the Coasters witnessed the collapse and discovered Jackie wasn't breathing. Gunter's quick response, performing CPR, may have saved Jackie's life. He was rushed to a nearby hospital where medical personnel fought to stabilize him. Tragically, the lack of oxygen to his brain due to the heart attack caused Jackie to slip into a coma. There were glimmers of hope in early 1976. Jackie even managed a few wobbly steps. His friend, Bobby Womack, organized a benefit concert in Hollywood to raise funds for his medical care. There were brief periods of hope. Reports emerged in 1976 suggesting Jackie regained some consciousness and could respond to his surroundings, even though he couldn't speak. However, his overall condition remained critical. Throughout this challenging time, Elvis Presley, a longtime admirer, reportedly covered a significant portion of Jackie's medical expenses, a testament to the deep respect he held for his fellow musician. Another close friend, Joyce McRae, attempted to become Jackie's caregiver, but a legal battle ensued, and ultimately, Harleen Harris, Jackie's estranged wife, was appointed his guardian in 1978. Sadly, Jackie's fight ended on January 21, 1984, at the age of 49. Complications from pneumonia claimed his life, leaving a void in the music industry. He was initially laid to rest in an unmarked grave near Detroit. However, in 1987, a group of dedicated fans, led by a disc jockey named Jack the Rapper Gibson, spearheaded a fundraising effort to purchase a mausoleum for Jackie. This final resting place now serves as a permanent tribute to the man who captivated audiences with his electrifying performances and soulful vocals. Jackie Wilson's legacy. Jackie Wilson's legacy is a mix of his musical achievements and his personal life. While there are reports of him having children outside of his marriage, many details about his private life remain unknown to the public. In the music world, Wilson's influence is undeniable, and he's seen as one of the most important artists in history. His contributions were recognized when he was inducted into the National Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame in 2013. Additionally, his life story has been celebrated on stage, with Broadway star Chester Gregory playing Wilson in the musical The Eve of Jackie Wilson, keeping his memory alive in our culture. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the incredible world of Lewis Hamilton. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more F1 content. See you in the next one.